What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm George, this is Bert, and we got a good one. So,
today's video, public service announcement.
Don't hit the deer.
Don't hit deer when you're riding your motorcycle. So, for a lot of us,
oh my God,
in the north, the riding season is upon us, and we're all anxious, and we're getting out there and we're riding. And I don't know about where you live, but where we live, you gotta watch out for deer.
And I'll tell you, I gotta tell you, we do a lot of riding. There are some people scared of highways, some people, scared of trucks on highways, all that stuff. Like, none of that stuff. I live in New Jersey. Like, trucks on highways, if they bothered me, I'd never go anywhere. But deer scare the hell out of me, man. Especially more so even where I live, even a few miles away, I feel like, than even here. Yeah. Because the odds of me driving at night and not having a deer in front of my truck is,
So why are we talking about this?
Somebody hit a deer.
So
wasn't me.
I am officially 2-0 versus deer, I will say.
Oh, that's great.
Champ.
That's great.
This past Thursday, I went out for a ride. It was a beautiful day here in Jersey. I washed the bike off, got all the Daytona Cackleberry Campground funk off the bike. Was kind of chilling. Wasn't going to go riding. Then when I was texting our buddy Sam, good old Superman NJ, and he's like, "You're crazy, man. You should be out riding," because he was stuck at work, and I was kind of done work for the day. It was a nice day. So I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go riding. So I went for a ride, and I went and cruised some of our nice back roads that we have and made a pit stop at one of our local watering holes, and then was there a few minutes, and then headed home to meet the wife who was coming home from work. About 7 o'clock, and it was getting dark.
It was dusk.
It was like darker than it was light.
Okay.
And I was coming up on our road that leads to my side street, and I was cruising along 50 miles an hour. It's 35 there, but whatever. It's straight road. Oncoming car was coming, and I would bet my money that they had their headlights, their high beams on, because I couldn't see squat.
Yep.
So like can't really see nothing because these lights are in my face, and as soon as the car clears me, and I can now see. There's a giant deer standing in the middle of the road, and I ride the line.
On the line.
My wife yells at me. He was on both sides of the line, on the line. She yells at me because I ride the line, but the light clears. I see this deer. I'm about to hit it head on. So I dip to the right. It hits my highway peg, which sticks out kind of far. I got the 03D, Adam Sandoval mini floorboards. They stick out there a ways. They're frame mounted. Hits that, kind of feel it bump my leg. Bike does a little wobble, but nothing crazy. And I keep going, and then when it happens in this like that.
Yeah. And
when I look down, my whole mini floorboard highway board thingy is gone. And I'm literally like, by the time I realize what happened and look down, like I'm hitting my street. I turn down my street. I turn into my driveway. I park the bike. I look back. My saddlebag lid's open. I'm like, what the hell? So there's a crack in the saddlebag lid, not the saddlebag, and the floorboard just completely gone, and my leg hurts. So I get off the bike and kind of assess the damage real quick. That was it. Luckily, thank God, that was the gist of the damage. There was nothing really else that I could see. Went in the house. My wife and kid were in here. I said, I hit a freaking deer. They freaked out. I'm like, I'm fine. So then I'm like, I want to go look and see if I can find my mini floorboard. Like maybe it's still salvageable.
Nah, there's a theory with that.
We went down the road and it was getting dark, so we had like flashlights. I'm looking for. I couldn't find it. It was nowhere to be found. Went back the next day and walked that road for like an hour. Still couldn't find it. Did find the deer, who wasn't dead.
Long story.
Whole other story, so animal lovers would be very upset about it, but the deer was alive. I only knew because as I'm looking for the part, I heard a rustle and I looked and it was like trying to move and it could not. Its rear legs were jacked. I called the police, the state police, to have them come do something to put it out of its misery.
Animal control.
That's why I waited around for an hour looking for the part, waiting to see if the police showed up. They didn't show up, so I had to come back to work. It was a weekday. I came home, I called animal control. They told me to call the cops. So nothing happened with this deer. The deer literally sat out there and
Suffered.
And just died of probably dehydration, starvation, whatever. It's dead now. But didn't find the part.
Probably with your floorboard.
Probably, well, today, as of today, I drove by, it's gone.
Oh.
So something had at it, and it's gone. It's not in that spot. Something drug it off.
There you go.
So now I'm annoyed because I wanted to go look and see if my floorboard was on the bone. So anyway, got super lucky. The parts that, got broken are easily replaceable, and the brand new bike is still fine. Checked the damage the next morning to make sure I didn't miss anything. There's nothing. It's fine.
So lucky.
What?
So lucky.
Very lucky. Very lucky. And a reminder, if I didn't already need it, to slow down and be careful, especially after dark on back rural roads. Take your time. Leave yourself that extra time to miss something. The faster you're going, the harder it's going to be.
And here's the thing: that guy coming at you probably did have his high beams on.
He did,
because he saw a deer in the middle of the road.
The deer froze probably from lights from both sides.
Yeah. And
it was just standing there. It wasn't like actively crossing the road. It just stopped. So
you're lucky he didn't hit it.
Yeah, throw it in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's crazy, man. I've heard of. I don't know anybody personally, but back when I worked on the Air Force base, heard of a lot of different, several Air Force young guys riding their bikes and got taken out by a deer, and died.
Yeah.
And so it's very real. It's very scary, depending on where you live when you're in rural places, and which I think most of us do. I think most of us that ride don't live in the city. So
no, it's dependent on where you live. People bust my chops all the time because, especially when we're in mountains at rallies, I don't like to ride at night because of that. And I get all kinds of flack. Dave Atwell, you know who you are.
I bust your balls.
You do.
I probably still will.
But it's even when we come home late, going back to my house, I'm in third gear because there's literally deer. There's deer everywhere back there. And my F-150, I hit probably 5 in 4 years.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man. It's kind of like all the other things that are possible with your motorcycle. If you sit and think about them, you'll never ride your bike, which is why I just try to block it out.
Yeah.
But you do got to be aware of the possibility.
It's a controllable, and the road that you turn off the highway on, even though the speed limit's 35, the way you're turning off the highway and coming off the highway, it's so easy to do 50, 55. It's
a straightaway.
It's so easy on some of these roads especially on a bike, just crank the throttle a little bit and you're doing 50. And there's a big difference.
It was a beautiful day. Had an awesome ride. It was a great day up until that point. But, hey, I've already got replacement parts here, so we're going to put it back together and get back at it. But this was just, we've rambled on, but this was just to make you guys aware, to think about it a little bit.
Slow down.
Just like we told you with last year's video after I crashed, there's all those little things that you got to just not forget about when you're riding. We take our lives, are at risk every time we ride the motorcycle. So any of the threats that we can alleviate, you got to try and do. I probably would have been a little bit better off if I was going a little bit slower, but I really wasn't going that fast, but I could have been slower. So just things to think about. If you're in a rural area and you're riding after dark or dusk especially, because both times I've hit a deer has been dusk.
You can't see them. They're gray this time of year.
Yeah, you got to be extra cautious. So we just wanted to alert you guys of that because we know a lot of you guys are just getting out now and starting to ride for the season as it warms up. So we've all been cooped up in the house. Well, a lot of us that don't live down south have been cooped up in the house for months. And, it takes a little bit of time to get back in the groove and get riding fit and riding alert and all that stuff. So that's the point of this.
Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.
And try not to hit the furry critters. And
unless they're squishable.
Yeah, even those are risky. So, hope you guys all ride safe. Thanks for watching. If you're new and this is the first time watching, please hit that subscribe button. Help us out getting to 19,000, which we are super close, and super appreciative of all you guys that watch. And I hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the future videos, and we'll see you guys out there.
All right.
Later.